Oscar guy here. I just finished watching All Quiet on the Western Front, the remake, of course. That just came out this year. Remake of the 1930 film of the same name that actually won Best Picture, I think, way back when. And there's been a lot of buzz about this one. Was just released on Netflix, and man, I need to pick me up, dude. What a crazy, devastating, and harrowing depiction of war. It's pretty relentless. I think the original film is kind of like that too, and I don't know how true it is to the source material, but whew, man, my man Felix, or that's the actor's name. My man Paul, he goes through it, dog. He goes through it. At some point in the film, you're like, okay, what else? What else wrong can go wrong? Like, what else can go wrong? Everything goes wrong. Like everything, everything. It's like the most deeply harrowing, cynical war movie I've seen probably ever. I mean, even Saving Private Ryan was kind of sort of that had like heroic aspects to it. And even 1917 to some extent. Yeah, that's a pretty devastating movie too, but not like this one's just like it really hits you, man, and like you kind of do feel the length a little bit. But I mean, hey, man, it's production wise, it's like an incredible movie. The cinematography especially is like pretty incredible. There are some stills in this movie that are like works of art. Like there's these shots in the movie where I wish they were so beautiful and so like perfect in a way that I thought like I wish it they would have just stayed on that shot and let yourself sink into it like the way Kubrick would have done, and to kind of like just to sit with you. But there's just a lot of cuts. It'll give you this beautiful landscape or this beautiful portrait of something for like 2 seconds, then it cuts to another thing which is also beautiful, or some other kind of exposition-y kind of thing, and then it's like, okay, dude, can we sit? I mean, this I know this is a long movie, but like I actually wouldn't have mind. I mean, it's like already a 2 hour and 30 minute movie. I wouldn't have mind if they made it just make it a 3 hour movie, and just make the shots sit with you a little bit more. You know, it's just a nitpick, but anyway, it's a beautiful movie. Very well shot, extremely well acted. I mean, this Felix guy. I mean, I would probably have him in my top 10 performances, perhaps. I haven't seen everything yet, obviously, but this guy, what he does in this movie is amazing. All the other supporting actors are amazing as well. There's a guy that looks like Sean William Scott, like a mixture of Sean William Scott and Ashton Kutcher and like a couple other people. And I was like, who is this guy? Anyway, they're all great. Great action scenes, great sound design. The story is just kind of like, yeah, there are these kids, these 17-year-old kids who get just drafted into this horrific war. Like, yeah, these kids were just drafted into this war, and it's like, it's just what they go through. And especially in the beginning, I didn't realize, like, the camaraderie that the German army had. Like, these kids were excited about going to war. Like, they wanted to prove something, and then they just get there, and it's just like hell on earth, literally hell on earth. Like, it's just the worst conditions you can ever imagine. And it's, man, it's testing. This movie is very testing. As great as it is, it's like it's like a one and done type of deal. Like, you watch it once, you're like, all right, dude, that's it. I'm good. But I'm glad I watched it, because this is definitely in the running for the international feature category this year. It's got some competition. I mean, there's Decision to Leave, of course, and I'm not sure who the other front runners are, but like that's like probably its main competition right now. I do see the Oscars potentially nominating it in other categories, like production design, like cinematography, like sound design. I would actually kind of be tickled pink if Felix, I forget his last name, uh, if he gets a nod, dude, I'd be jumping up and down Oscar morning. Honestly, he's, I mean, it, his performance kind of blew me away a little bit. Just the sheer amount of shit that he goes through in this movie is like unbelievable, dude. And by the end of the movie, you're just like, okay, well, of course this is gonna go wrong. Of course that's gonna go wrong. Okay, and then it ends, and it's just like, and then the credits are rolling, and it's like no music, of course, because it's like all quiet on the rest of I think the title comes from when they finally signed a truce, France and Germany. I guess it was like the battlefield was like so quiet. It was like the quiet after the storm, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very finely crafted film, and I recommend watching it. You just got to get in there and watch it. It's worth watching, for sure. Not every movie is going to be a pick me up, and this is certainly an exception. It is like, or not an exception rather. It's just it's a lot. Now I better understand what this international feature race is going to be. So it's a pretty high bar that this film has set. For now, I'm going to give it a 3.75 out of 5. Um, Maybe inching closer to a 4, but my heart says 3.75, which is still a good review. Actually, it's like a tiny bit above average. An average movie to me would be like 3.25 to 3 out of 5. But 3.75, it borders on great. So that's that. Until next time, Oscar Guy out.